Okay, I think I have cracked the code on what the Patriots are going to do for the draft this season. I was combing through just draft guys and thinking, oh, the Patriots are going to go this position and that position. What are they going to do? I have no idea. It's a weird pick. It's this, and then all of a sudden, it just dawned on me. Everything hit me at once, and I was just like, the Patriots really want AJ Brown. He's older. The Titans have drafted AJ Brown, big, 220 plus, 6'2", 6'3" receiver. AJ Brown in the second round, early second round. And then a couple years later, they trade AJ Brown for, I think, the 18th pick for a receiver that has just about the same profile in Treylon Burks. Although he didn't pan out, there is another guy, maybe two guys, but one specific guy in this draft that after going through just looking at different guys, I think I found the exact guy that the Patriots are going to draft in the first round or maybe trade back a couple picks. I think this is the guy. Look, this guy, let's just say Chris Bell. It's Chris Bell out of Louisville. 6'2", 220 plus, somewhere around there. He runs around a 4.40. He is a big body guy. He has good run after catch ability, good contested catch ability, pretty good downfield threat. He can play outside, inside. He played about, I think, over 80% of his snaps on the outside. Yes, he did tear his ACL. But I don't want to say that's going to help the Patriots, but I also think that might have forced him to drop. And if he didn't tear his ACL, I would say he's a first-round lock. He tore his ACL in December, so that's going to make him fall maybe to the second round. But I think 31 might be the perfect spot for him. And I was just sitting here just thinking about it. I was like, he's everything that Vrabel looks for in a receiver. And this code of what they do at receiver, what Vrabel does at receiver, and probably what Stretch likes to see and what his guys like to see is a big, physical receiver that is tough to bring down. He bounces off guys. He's you can't just wrap him up. Yeah, he's not like super jukeable. He's not elusive like that, but not agile. He can be elusive, but not agile. And I think those two are a little bit different. Elusive is tough to bring down. Agile is Tyreek Hill, I guess you could say. But when I'm watching him, I'm like, this guy is literally exactly what Vrabel and that staff is going to be looking for. I don't know about you guys, but I feel like that's almost like the best case scenario, because the thing is the edge position, outside linebacker, defensive end, whatever you want to call it, is so deep this year. And yeah, there's really good top end talents, but I don't think those top end guys are going to fall to 31. And if they do, there's going to be another reason. Everybody that drops 30, there's going to be a thing. It's also, you look at the Patriots offense, how they stack up, how they are going to end up being like as a whole. They have some elusive guys. They have Dobbs. They have Kyle Williams. Maybe Pop Douglas if he stays, but they're looking literally for an outside receiver that has good size and can just win in contested situations. And AJ Brown is a guy that is proven, but he does have a little bit of injury issues right now. And yeah, Treylon Burks didn't end up panning out, but I don't think that was as much of a skill set, or I there was just something about him where he just didn't have the speed exactly to him that caught up to him, and there was just something about him that didn't end up working out. But Chris Bell is the totally not Traylon. He's like the perfect. He's as close to AJ Brown, I feel like, as you can get to getting him, and he runs a lot of routes. He doesn't run the entire route tree. Yeah, he's not like the most unbelievable dynamic route runner, but nobody is coming out of college. Like, that's also the thing that everybody talks about is, oh, his route tree is limited. The entire there's not a billion routes. There's not guys aren't running 45 different routes. Yeah, he's better in some places, but everybody coming out of college is going to be better at some routes than other routes. That's just how it is. You can go to the top. You got Mekhi Lemon. He's a really good player, but he struggles in some routes and not in others, and it's just there's different areas. So Chris Bell out of Louisville, I think, is currently looking at the draft and how it could pan out to 31, how certain edge guys are not going to fall there. And then there's other guys that that they're going to fall there, but there's just Zion Young, where he might be able to play in the system that the Patriots have, and I think he can, but is that going to be the best way? Is that the best position and the best player in that spot? I don't know. Like, I don't want to say yes, and I don't want to say like. I think he could be, but if you could get a receiver who, yeah, he tore his ACL in December, but also with the Patriots, the rookies don't tend to, in McDaniel's offense, don't tend to start at the beginning of the season. They have to ramp up anyway. So I think if you get a receiver that can just focus, it might even help to just say, hey, just focus on the playbook. Just get in the playbook. You can't get on the field anyway. There's nothing you can do. There were reports, I think by Jordan Schultz, that he's starting to run and jump and things like that already, which you don't know if the agent's going in and saying this, that, or the other. But if he is, great. If not, that's okay too. I think that's only going to boost his draft stock if he does. People have to see it. We got to see it. But that is the number one player, I feel like, that the receiver wise that the Patriots are going to go after in that 31 spot if they do. I like Brazel. I just don't know if he would fit. Realistically, I don't know if he would fit in the Patriots offense. Scheme wise, schematic wise, I don't know if he'd be able to. He is what he is, and I just feel like his frame is scary. Where if you do have physical corners, if you do have physical players on the inside, if you have to have him on the outside, and he has to win, and it's just he's limited to. He seems limited to just being on the outside. Now, if you get in to the meeting, you meet with him and you end up liking him, and he can play inside, he can play outside. His 2-lane tape is also a little bit better. It's a little bit easier to see, but that was also 2 years ago, so who knows? It's a little bit tougher to see Brazel, and also that Tennessee offense is tough to monitor and just to get a good feedback out of that, because it's tough. It's tough to see. But I just think Chris Bell is like the perfect guy. I really think he's the perfect guy. When I watch him versus Miami, who had one of the best defenses all year, they couldn't stop him. Virginia couldn't stop the two best teams that he played. He torched. Pittsburgh torched. So do I think he's the number one receiver? I think he could be. I think he could be the number one receiver, is what I'm saying. I think he could be the Patriots' number one guy. And everybody's looking for that wide receiver one. And there's a good possibility that he could be it. I really think, Vrabel also mentioned you have to find those guys in the draft. And he's tried to find those guys in the draft with the exact profile, and he's drafted them either in the first round early with the 18th pick, or he also got A.J. Brown in the second round. So it's interesting to think about. It's an interesting thing. Also, another thing that I've been kind of pondering is, would they go for the defense with the big nickel look, or yeah, I guess bigger nickel look, I guess you could say, with a bigger safety that isn't Marcus Jones size, where you can play Marcus Jones maybe second and third down passing downs, and on that first down or first and second down, matters down in distance, obviously. Um, would you be able to get a guy like AJ Halsey, or even not even worry? That would be, I don't even know how. Anyway, McNeil Warren, getting a guy like McNeil Warren and being able to play him in the boxes. He played a lot of his downs in the box. So having a guy like that and being able to utilize him down there, I think that would be really good, especially with the additions that the Patriots got in free agency. So that would be kind of ideal, one of those two. If McNeil Warren drops, I think you would have to get him and try to maybe trade up that second round, try to trade up and go get Chris Bell. But within the first two picks, I think the Patriots are going to go for a receiver. I think within the first two, they're going to try to go and hit on one of these receivers, and I wouldn't look past it being the first pick. Edge, you can see they're trying to retool their entire defensive line or their edge room. So it's tough to exactly say what they're looking for because they got rid of Chason, who's just a really good pass rusher, but he didn't stop the run as well. That makes me lean out on an R. Mason Thomas pick in that first or maybe second round. That kind of makes me lean out because he's not as good against the run. They got rid of Anthony Jennings, who is really good at stopping the run, which kind of leans me out on a Zion Young. Not personally, like if they got him, I'd be like, oh, okay. But just looking at it, it makes me think, are they out on these kind of guys? It seems like they're trying to go for a certain type of player. They're probably banking on Harold Landry to be healthy. He was really good when he was healthy this year. So going with that and Elijah Ponder and Braden Swinson type players where they can get good production out of those guys, and then maybe later on in the draft in the third, fourth round, go get one of these good depth edge rushers and see if that is a good plan. Because realistically, we had a good defense running in the playoffs, in the Super Bowl, and didn't have an elite edge. If they could get one early, I think, but realistically, let's just whoever, like, if they're dropping a 31, they're not an elite top of the line pass rusher, I don't think, because that's a premium position. Those edge rushers are going very early now, and it's going to be really hard to get guys that are good at everything in that spot. So you have to kind of pick and choose, get guys that you want. That I think like a Derek Moore out of Michigan is a guy that can stop the run and rush the passer. That would be a good second round guy if he fell. Maybe that's one of the guys they would trade up for if these safeties fell, or if these safeties didn't fall. If the safeties went, if Halsey goes, if all three, if McNeil Warren goes, and obviously Dylan Dynaman from Oregon. If these guys don't fall, or if they get picked before 31, and you go maybe Chris Bell early, which I would love. I mean, he is just really good. He's really good. He runs these under routes really well, but he also is pretty deep. Like, he runs a deep route really well. Like a go ball, he has good field for a go ball. He can run an in route. He's pretty fearless across the middle. He's not afraid to go catch the ball, which is really, really good to see. And just his size, that 6'2", 225 frame is just, that's exactly what they've looked for in the past, and I think that might be what they're looking for now, especially with getting AJ Brown. They are wanting to get AJ Brown. They could have him possibly in the first, and they might be thinking something like that. So that could be a possibility. Him, McNeil Warren, maybe Halsey. Halsey hits really, really well. He comes up, makes a lot of tackles. Obviously, McNeil Warren plays in the box, loves to tackle, flies around, turns the ball over. Both of those guys turn the ball over, get turnovers a lot. And then with the edge rusher, I think Derek Moore is a really good guy to get in that second round. If he drops, that would be an ideal spot for a player of that caliber. I think he probably is going to go early in that second, but if he does fall to the mid-second, to think about maybe trading up into that spot would be awesome. Another guy, obviously Jacob Rodriguez. He's a good player. They do need a linebacker, but the only issue is going Jacob Rodriguez early is just the linebacker draft class is just so deep. It's so deep and it's really good, and there's a lot of really good players. And I think it gets in that fourth, fifth round again. It's a good place, like where we have a lot of picks in that fourth, fifth area. We have I think a couple extra picks. It's a good spot to have those picks because we can get a lot of good depth. I think the Patriots did a really good job this offseason in getting a solid foundation on just Draymond Jones and getting Kevin Byard and just solidifying the offensive line. And they fill holes to where you feel like you can go away from tackle early and not have to feel like you have to press and get the guy right away and feel like you have to make that future pick. I think there's going to be good depth in that tackle spot late. Do you want to get a backup tackle early if there's a possibility to get some playmakers, which I think is crucial for this team? They need playmakers, but also tackles don't just live there. But worst case scenario, you get not worst case scenario, but next year you get pick 32 and you're pretty much in the same spot as you are now. So that's kind of what I'm thinking. I'm thinking kind of go away from that tackle spot. I think there's a lot more range you can go in the offseason. If Morgan does end up retiring, we did get him in free agency 2 years ago, or two free agencies ago. So you can kind of get that guy again. It's not a guarantee, but it's a possibility. And you could also, trade for a older tackle that's kind of on the outs of his contract, and maybe a team wants to get out of a contract of a player like that, and they want to rebuild their offensive line, and they're early in the draft next year, and they want to get out. So there's possibilities. There's ways to go after that. And I don't mean to say kick the can down the road, but I also think this is the one time where you kind of say, hey, we got a decent chance. We just went to the Super Bowl. I know this season is going to be tougher this year, but also so are the Patriots. The Patriots are going to be tougher. They're not going to be. You're going into the season with defending AFC champs, so you can't. Yeah, the other teams are good, but the Patriots are also a good team, and that is what it is. They beat good teams in the playoffs, and they lost a tough one. So they're a good team, and they're only going to build from here. So I think, that's my idea. Is Chris Bell is maybe that guy that the Patriots are going to go after, and I could see it really happening. It's that exact profile. Any other spots that I think we could go after? Stripling, Dejon Stripling from Ole Miss. He's probably in the fourth round type pick, but I really like him. He plays inside, outside. They had him as the H-back, which is behind the tight end. It's in a 2-point stance, right behind the tight end. I don't know if you're familiar, but whatever, in the line, kind of right behind the line of scrimmage. So he blocked real well from there. So there's just a good amount of stuff from him. Good contested catch. He has great game speed. He plays real fast. He dusts some Georgia guys. So I really liked him later on. That'd be good. It would be great. I think a double dip at receiver seems to be. I would love a double dip at receiver. I think you can try. You get two swings at it. There's good enough. I wouldn't say there's good depth other places, but you're kind of at a point where you want to get your future quarterback some weapons. And I think that this is a great time to just go for it. Year 3 for Drake. Just take a couple swings. And I think Elliott Wolf and the rest of the crew, I think they know a little bit better how to evaluate receivers than they have in the past. Missed a couple on Javon Baker and Polk, but you know, it is what it is. You know, they were, it happens. But anyway, that's it. I just wanted to kind of come on real quick, just give my 2 cents, and I had a brain blast on what I think that little code that I cracked with variable. We'll see if that happens, but it's the exact profile. Let me know what you guys think. Like, subscribe, leave a comment. Let me know if you like him, Chris Bell. I wouldn't hate it, but anyway, thanks for watching. See you guys next time. Peace.